hell you doing in my house? Eating a big-ass sandwich and shit.
Nigga, I'm Santa Claus. What the f*** milk and cookies?
I think I remember my manager told me that Q's people was reaching out. I think Muhammad was looking out, was trying to find me. But I had met Ice Cube before on when I was working for BET, the show on BET called Live from LA. Plus, I had already did All About the Benjamins. In the deleted scenes, I was Snitch Mitch and All About the Benjamins. So we had a relationship then. And so when the next project came, which was Friday After Next, they made sure that they, included me in that. So I was excited about that. That was a lot of fun and a great opportunity. They called me and asked me to participate, asked me what I like to be in the movie. Of course, I like to be, a part of the historical Friday franchise. Yeah, where do I need to be? What time? So I showed up. You know what, man? That's the first time someone had ever asked me that. You know who I thought about? Leroy, the character that Richard Pryor played on Which Way Is Up. When Leroy was running and everybody was chasing him, and he was running. And when you see the way Leroy was running, that's what I had in mind when they was chasing me down that alley after I had robbed them, Don D.C. Curry, Mike Epps, and Ice Cube. And I was running, and something just said, pick your legs. I thought about Leroy. Just the silliness of Richard Pryor and Which Way Is Up when he was playing all those different characters. Give it the best. And Ice Cube gave me a lot of advice on the set. Was helping me out. Mr. Clifton was giving me some good advice. I wasn't a skilled actor, but they say, hey, we just want you in the movie because we want you to be you. I just tried to give it my best shot, and I had a lot of damn fun. No, that was it was a lot of rehearsal when you walk through it, but when they say action, man, you going at it. That getting physical. I remember getting the wind knocked out of me one time. That Christmas tree scene or whatever. Yeah, it was real physical. The running up the steps was physical. The most nerve-wracking physical part of the whole movie for me was laying behind that Cadillac and he peeled off, making sure that baby was in drive and not reverse, because that was real. And I had to really lay there while they peel off. And they say as many times as you want, I was able to get up and go and look and make sure that damn car was in drive and say, pull up. Okay, keep your feet on the brakes. Okay, we're going to do this 2 times. My nerves get off. And we did it twice. Because just imagine if you peeled off and that car was in reverse, my head was right there by that tire. Nah, man, God did everything perfect, man. Me having that doggone mask on, if I would not have had that mask on, I don't think it would have been as funny. What Santa Claus do you know would have a mask on? What Santa Claus with a Santa Claus suit on have a mask on robbing people? I was in it for the comedy. Eventually I got a chance to peel the mask off, and people like, oh my God, oh wow, that's Rickey Smiley or whatever. But even if I would not have been able to peel the mask and reveal who the Santa Claus really is, it still would have been funny or whatever. But I went out here and made a name for myself, performing and doing radio and doing the things that I do. And just to have people to be able to connect the two, man, it was all a blessing. It worked out perfect. And I tell you, man, that particular Friday movie, it was action-packed, mixed with funny. It moved. It kept people on their toes, and I'm just proud to have had this awesome career and to be a part of that franchise. Only thing I remember filming, it was so physical, man. By the time you get finished taping, man, you wiped out. So I didn't really have a chance to kick it. But it was good to see John Witherspoon and, Don D.C. Curry and, everybody on the set, and we know each other from Comedy Club, D.C. Curry, some more, everybody, we all worked closely together in Atlanta. We all have toured over the years and, did all this great magical stuff. So it was just good to see your fellow comedians, being in the movie, because you've seen some of the things that they went through to get to where they are. Then to be in a movie like that and see all of those guys backstage making it. And you remember being backstage doing open mic night. It was always good to be on set. coming up with lines and working together, trying to get a good flow, especially the scene when the Santa Claus was robbing Day Day, Craig, and Uncle and Don DC Curry, trying to get all those lines together to get all those jokes in there. And Q was, I remember him say, "Hey, okay, we can't step on each other with the lines," and having to get those lines right and back and forth, and who was going to say what when, because he kind of let us improv a lot of that. The whole point was me to rob them, but what are we going to say during the robbery that's funny? So once we got that together, we shot that a few times, and I literally had to climb that wall. That was not a stunt double. I did a lot of my own stunts, So yeah, just to see all of that stuff and being around all those comics was great. I don't think it was anything else. The movies that he did after that, or whatever. I didn't live in LA. I had children. I had to, be in Birmingham. I would go to LA to film whatever I needed to film. But it was hard to follow up and have a career doing movies in LA. And I was comfortable raising my children and then touring locally, regionally, doing stuff in Birmingham. And then I started doing radio, whatever. And I kind of got my footing in that. So, yeah. Nah, movies is just not my thing. Sitting there trying to memorize scripts and hair and makeup and blocking and all of that stuff, it's a lot. It's all glamorous or whatever when you're on the red carpet and or whatever, man. But everything that lead up to that, that's a lot of work. It's a lot of work. It's a lot of hard work, memorizing lines or whatever. I'm sitting over here with mad ADHD. Hard for me to memorize lines. Memorizing scripts is difficult. But what I do enjoy, making cameo appearances, whether it be a movie or a TV show, like when I did Baggage Claim, or whether it's Meet the Browns or Are We There Yet? And I'm even on Everybody Still Hate Chris cartoon as a pastor on that cartoon series or whatever. So I just enjoy in and out type of situations, not being tied to nothing that's going to tie up your day, and tie up your time. So I just like giving them a nice little boom and then out and on to the next project. So I'm blessed.